Reverend Blake, that we probably started at the same place, and that's a strong foundation, and that foundation was at church. I can say that everything I learned about being a leader, having leadership skills, teamwork, problem solving, community service, being out in front of people, public speaking, it was all learned and birthed at church.
Right, right. I have to agree with that myself.
And I would join her in that it was learned at church, but it was also learned at home.
You're right.
And whatever you did always reflected on your family, always. First on God, but then your family. And there was this expectation that you would do well. It was understood that you would do well. It was not a choice.
Correct.
You will do well. And we grew up with that, so there was this expectation that we would get the A's, the B's, that we would speak well. We would always be a lady. And then I said, my mother was just real clear. When you are always a lady no matter what you do.
Right.
So again, those foundational building blocks of family, of friends, and I know you'll join me. There was those folks in my neighborhood who always knew more about my business than I did, and I didn't have any business. But that was the village, and when it may sound trite to say it takes a village to raise a child, but it does.
It really
and
does.
I believe it was the village that kept us on point. And when our moms weren't there, the Miss Mamie across the street was there, and they really took an interest in what we did. So again, the village kept us on point. It kept us, and when we did something wrong, it was that whole disappointment. You are My parents didn't have to beat me.
They just looked
They could
at
just
you.
look at me, and they would. You have disappointed us, and again, you have disappointed us as a people. So again, this whole thought that, hey, I don't just represent me, but I represent my people.
Right, right.
So that was heavy, I believe, in our spirits and in our upbringing. You had again, the expectation, and you were going to make a contribution.
Okay.
You were going to be something.
Right, right.
Something.
Right.
No matter how long it takes.
No matter
This
how
is
long
true.
it takes.
I didn't want to say that, but you're right.
That's right.
But
Reverend,
that's it.
do you mind if I call you Reverend?
Is that? You know, I love it. Can you? And she calls me Lorena, but she gonna play Reverend today.
I
But that's okay. That's okay. This is sister girlfriends talking.
I love it. Okay.
It's okay.
You
Yes.
mentioned the village.
Yes.
Does the village still exist? Yeah.
Sadly, and I'm not going to just say blanket, because I'm this eternal optimist.
Okay.
That the village still exists in different pockets. All right.
Okay.
So I'm not giving up on the village, but it doesn't exist the way that existed when we were growing up. But then the question becomes, what do we need to do to reconstitute the village for 2011? Because I believe those mentors, those folks that are in place for you, as a matter of fact, I've got to do something next week where I'm dealing with 125 young women.
Wow.
And between the age of 17 and 18, so that's that fun age, all right? But again, what can I give to them that as a member of the village, now an older member of the village, which cracks me up. I never thought I'd be there. Seasoned, thank you. That can help them along the way and help them with their walk. So I'm not willing to give up. The village doesn't exist as it did when I was a child or a young woman, but I believe the village still does exist because there are people that still care.
Okay.
And as long as you've got people that are cared and are committed, you got a village.
You got a village.
Now, what'd you say, Mel?
Yeah, what do you think?
I would agree with Lorena that the village is not the same that it was as when I grew up. However, my personal village, I think it's stronger than it has ever been.
Okay.
I have developed new mentors along the way, new friends, new fans, new people that just love and care on me. And as you know, we used to say in the street, didn't know me from a can of spray paint, but saw something in me and decided to pour into me. And so that personal village has grown.
Right. And it grows outside of your blood family, like what you're saying. There's been so many people, including you ladies, who have said things just in conversation or just in passing that have stuck with me. I mean, I've had someone say to me, Tashara, you haven't even scratched the surface of your ability. And this was like 5 years ago. I'm like, oh, whatever. What are you talking about? And then other times, you know, I've had my pastor come to me and say, dream again. You know, dream one more time to the point where you can't even touch that which you see. It's just beyond your wildest imagination. So those things stick with me. And Reverend,
Tashara, you made me think of something. Dream bold dreams. And say we have to enable our young people, and especially our young women, to dream. And that if you can, and we used to say, if you can believe it, you can achieve it.
Right, right.
And one of my mentors has I love acronyms, and her name is Reverend Dorothy Watson Tatum. And Dorothy used to say to me, she said, you have to have them. You have to vision yourself at the finish line, where it is you want to be. Then she said, you have to be intentional about getting there. And then M, you got to make it happen. So, so again, you've got to be intentional about making these things happen. I mean, you've got to have a plan.
Right.
You've got to have a plan in an effort to get there.
And say the plan out loud. I remember the other year, I heard someone speak, and she talked about the best way to make sure that you will achieve your goals is to say them out loud. Because once you announce it to people, then you're on the spot.
Right.
And everyone is looking at you to achieve the things that you said that you would do.
Right, right, right. And so while we're there, what would you say are the top 3 things, if it's only 3?
Only 3?
If it's
I was
only,
laughing.
well, you know what?
I got 10 here at least.
Well, I was saying for sake of time, it's an hour show, give or take breaks. But listen, as much as you want to share, the things that you would suggest to an aspiring young woman, or man for that matter, to do.
Well, the first thing I say is to thine own self be true. To be true to yourself at all costs, regardless of what people say. Never let anyone else define who you are and what your destiny is. To thine own self be true. The second thing I would say is change is inevitable. Don't avoid it, embrace it. Change is what makes the world go round. It's how we evolve into the people that we are and to become. And then the third thing is reputation is what you are in the light, character is what you are in the dark. If you take care of your reputation, your character will take care of you.
I love it.
Well,
I love it.
And just to join Melanie, one of my key points is attitude.
Okay.
And I don't know how many times you say attitude is crucial. No matter what you do, whatever you do, your attitude is crucial. More importantly, it's a choice. So you make the choice. So if you blow it today, you can start all over again tomorrow.
With a new attitude.
With a new attitude. You know, Patti LaBelle, I'm looking good from my head to my shoes.
Right.
I got a new attitude. And see, we have to, with our young people, and even with ourselves, sometimes we have to make some attitude adjustments.
Right.
You know, you just got to adjust and tweak it. I always think of Transformer. You know that little toy, when I take it apart, I never can get it back together again. Sometimes we've just got to transform and switch up on some of the things that we're doing. So attitude, it's a choice, it's crucial, and it's also contagious if it's the right one.
Right.
You like being around positive people. Negative people, you just have to put them right by the wayside. I love you, but I got let them go.
Where they are.
So, and again, there's a wonderful, I love to read, guys. I always have and I brought a zillion books with me. But there's one little book called The Little Black Book of Success, Laws of Leadership for Black Women. Okay? But it had some key things in there. One of them was the N word, making the network work. So taking, like Melanie, I can call her, Tashira, I can call you, I can pick up the phone if there's something I have to do. Can you help me? This is something I need to do. So taking that network of friends, family, church, business, and making it work for you. And then another one out of this book was acknowledge there is a game and accept that you must play. I'm going to play. I'm going to be an active participant in this process. You're not going to deal me out. You're going to deal me in because I'm sitting here at the table with my equipment. I've gone to college. I've done all those things that you've taught me to do. Now watch me.
Right. And you're not going to ignore me.
But that's it. Excuse me. I'm the elephant in the room. You can call it what you want, but this is where I am. And then one other one was that I had put racism is no excuse. We've got racism, classism, sexism, you name, we've got the ism. Use it as a motivator.
That's right.
Use it. Don't let it stop you. Don't let it stymie you and keep you from going forward.
Your enemy will become your footstool.
Oh, hello? Come on, we're going to be preaching in a minute, okay? Can I get an amen?
Amen.